Okay, hi everybody. Thank you for being with us today for the Monolog Desktop Show and Q&A, which is facilitated by Ridhwan Saidi. Uh, oh, is everybody seeing my screen? Okay, so um, today's Fieldwork B Monolog Desktop is actually a 3 days workshop that started from 22nd of January on Friday, where the participants have involved in the writing process and a rehearsal guided by Ridhwan Saidi, which is a writer, director, also from Mocha Mocha Inc. And we will have two performances. The first one is Memory di Kampung Kerinci, written and performed by Abdul Rahman Shah. And the second performance is Rindu di Zaman Pandemic, written and performed by Achana Pillai. And before we start with the performance, I would like to give a brief introductions of the entire project about the Situ and exhibition. So this exhibition is actually part of the Curatorial Workshop, which is organized by Japan Foundation last February 2020. And in this workshop, we are mentored by performer curator Mate, as well as independent curator Ida Shihoko. And there are two projects that were selected to be materialized under this program. The first one being the Situ, and the second one is May We. May We explores the will of today's generations around the incident of May 13, and it is currently ongoing and Tun Perakop, and both of the exhibition informations can be found at the website here at the official website of Japan Foundation Kuala Lumpur. So the exhibition actually is starting in 29th of January, which is on Friday. But what we are having today is the pre-exhibition fieldwork workshop. And so this entire exhibition is a lot about asking, making work on site or making site-specific work and how is it relevant to where we are now. And it is actually started the idea of having the project is actually started from where I was working for 3 years, Kongsi Kiao, which is located inside a warehouse zone. It's called Gudang Yee Seng 2 along the Old Klang Road. It's about 10 minutes away from Kuala Lumpur. And Old Klang Road is the road, the old road that used to connect the KL city center and the Port Klang. But now we have other options of the road, so it's being replaced. But along the road, we also see that this old area has been developed a lot. And what we are seeing now in this picture in the foreground is actually Kongsi Kiao. It's a 10,000 square feet warehouse, and at the background is Exim, which is our which is the owner of Gudang Yee Seng too, and also they provided us a space to run as an art space for Kongsi Kiao, as well as the other venue collaborator for this curatorial project. Because the Gudang Yee Seng too is owned by them, and in this warehouse area there is around 11 businesses, but mainly they are in car repairing, car fixing, and furniture fixing. So it's mainly essential service of service and repairs. And then in the exhibition, we have mainly three sections. Site A, Gudang Yee Seng 2, where two artists, Novia Shin and Sun Young, makes a new work on the site, which is also the exhibition venue. And site B, Rensing and Ridhwan. Ridhwan is our instructor for this workshop. And they're having a reflection through an interview video about their relationship with multiple sites in KL. And Site C, Site Now, it's a series of conversations and fieldwork that invites viewer to have a first-hand experience of dealing with site, working with site, or where in this particular monologue desktop, the participants are actually exploring how to make virtual theater. And when we talk about virtual theater, we often have the idea of pre-recorded show. But in this workshop, what we are trying to look at is, can the desktop be the stage, or can the software or the applications be the set designs, which for the performance. So I'll just briefly introduce the artists as well, the featured artists in the exhibition. First one is Novia Shin. She's a visual artist, and her work explores the memories and the layers of the occupants of Gudang Yee Seng too, where we can see here these are the layers of existing fabrics in the warehouse, and going towards inwards are the memories of the occupants. And then side B is Lee Sun Young, a designer, and he's proposing to use the space on top of ideal generator, where it's an temporary structure that's going to be put up during the durations of exhibition, after which it can be either leave on top to observe the longer interactions, or to taken down and be placed on the ground lah. So it's still gonna be in KL. And the third one, Ridhwan Saidi, he's actually featuring a few of his work and his thought process, apart from the interview that we have done with him about his relationship with doing multiple disciplinary, for example, writing, theater, film, or sound design, and also as someone using unconventional sites for the theaters. Yeah. And while Ren Xing, she's exploring more of her offstage work, as in she's a dance artist, but this is a contrast to Ridwan, a long-term project that explore her neighborhood, which is in section 19, PJ, that kind of ask about the question, what is the relevance of having the dance in this place, and how can it be in locally in this place? Yeah. So I would like to. That's all for the introduction, and I would like to pass the sessions to the performance. And before we start, maybe you can give a small clap. It's a bit awkward because we are all online here, but just an encouragement for our two performers today, Abdul Rahman and Achana. Okay, yeah. So I'll leave the stage to them. Thank you.
Okay, test. Host, allow me to share screen. Okay, thanks. Okay, tahun 90-an dulu ada sebuah kampung ni tau. Kampung ni betul-betul sebelah Federal Highway. Dan dia juga dekat dengan Angkasa Puri kat sini. Tapi pelik kampung ni, kalau kita tengok map terbaru ni kan, mana kampungnya kan? Kita zoom, mana kampungnya? Pelik kan? 90-an dulu ada kampung ni, tapi sekarang tiba-tiba dah tak ada dah kampung ni. Tapi di sini, di ruang yang kita blur dan tak nampak ni, ada sebuah kampung lama, dan kampung tu namanya Kampung Kelinci. Pintu masuk kampung ni adalah bersebelahan sini, jambatan nak ke bazar pantai ni. Pintu masuk dia dekat sini. Dan area ni dia ada kedai kuih, ada kedai makan, ada kedai nasi lemak. Naik lagi sikit, dia ada surau kat sini. Naik lagi sikit, dia ada satu kawasan tau. Yang kawasan yang diambil sepenuhnya masjid baru ni. Dia ada kawasan kecil ni, dia kecil saja. Dia ada kampung orang India. Dan sekitar kampung tu, seluruhan kawasan besar ini adalah kampung orang Melayu. Jadi ada satu kampung orang India di tengah-tengah kampung orang Melayu dan semua orang hidup biasa kan, tak ada masalah, tak ada sangat konflik kan. Walaupun kalau ada konflik, konflik biasa kan, konflik yang selalu akan berlaku kan. Dan di tengah-tengah kampung orang India ni ada satu keluarga India Muslim yang boleh kata di antara jugalah dia berketurunan India tapi beragama Islam. Keluarga yang akan pergi ke surau tapi dia duduk dalam kawasan kampung orang India dan berbahasa Tamil sebagai bahasa harian mereka. Jadi ini satu benda yang unik. Apabila kita masuk lagi ke kampung itu, kita boleh tengok banyak benda-benda lama kan. Rumah kampung seperti ini, budak ini kan. Kita boleh tengok papan. Macam ini tengah-tengah Kuala Lumpur tau. Ini bukannya di outskirt of KL ke apa. Ini tengah-tengah Kuala Lumpur di dalam 1 kilometer saja hendak ke bangsa. Dan ini 90-an, boleh tengok TV lama, plug point lama, radio, style lama 90-an. Nak tengok Mi-7 kita tahu dah, inilah the 90s kan. So, inilah satu benda yang keunikan tentang kampung ini. Dan apa yang menarik tentang kampung ini adalah keluarga India Muslim di tengah-tengah ini. Dan kita sekarang ni ingin cari semula budak ini. Siapakah budak ini kan? Kenapa budak ini penting? Rutin harian budak ini, pagi-pagi nanti dia akan 90-an ni umur dia dalam 8 tahun lah kita kan. Budak umur 8 tahun, darjah 2. Dia akan ke sekolah setiap pagi, dia akan mandi. Dia akan mandi kena masak air sendiri, kena cerang air sendiri untuk mandi air panas. Sebab tak ada shower, tak ada heater, tak ada apa. Kena masak air sendiri. Dan apa yang lagi unik, satu rumah ini ada 4 keluarga lainan. Ini betul rumah kampung ni. Ada 4 keluarga berlainan, semua makcik, semua keluarga yang besar. Ada nenek, ada 3 orang lagi makcik, ada saudara mara, dan budak ni lah paling muda dalam rumah itu. Dan cuba bayangkan, sebagai seorang budak yang paling muda dalam rumah itu, dia lah akan disuruh, dia ialah antara yang paling dimanjakan dan paling akan disuruh buat kerja-kerja lain. Sebab yang dewasa, yang saudara-saudara yang dah tua dah macam, oh kau lah buat kerja ni, kau lah buat kerja ni kan. So itulah situasinya. Budak paling muda dalam rumah yang the next paling muda dalam 7 tahun lagi tua dari dia. So itulah budak ni. Dan apa yang kelakar lagi tentang budak ni adalah, macam tadi, benda lain semua sama. Perlu ingat, ni dengan KL. Ada air, ada elektrik. Kalau pergi keluar sikit, ada jiran yang ada Mercedes lah, ada jiran yang ada BMW lah semua. Tapi benda lain semua macam kampung. So ini antara benda keunikan kampung Kerinci ni sebab dia adalah kampung, a genuine kampung di tengah-tengah bandar. Dan dia banyak benda kelakar lah tentang kampung ini. Sebab kalau kita tengok balik ke peta ini, Federal Highway di seberang ini adalah Plaza Pantai. Dan kadang-kadang nama dia akan jadi bangsa South juga, itu antara peliknya. Dan kawasan ini dibina pada tahun 1998, 98 baru dia bina. So cuba bayangkan, seluruh kawasan ini dibina 98. Masjid ni baru lagi lah lepas 2010s. Belakang ni pun lepas 2010s. Sebelah ni pun 2010s. Ni semua 90s dia build up. Kampung ini di tengah-tengah zon pembangunan. So ini pun budak tu tak tahu. Dia membesar, dia tak tahu apa itu gentrification, tapi dia membesar dalam gentrification. Itu benda yang efek budak itu sikit sebab dia hidup di kampung yang pembinaan berlaku sampai satu hari kerajaan hantar notis kata, oh tanah ni milik kerajaan, semua kena pindah, semua kena dipindahkan, semua kena dikeluarkan. Dan seluruh kampung ini dipindahkan dalam tahun 2007, which is beberapa tahun lepas saja. Dan Ini antara benda yang kita, selain nama kelinci ni, mungkin kita tak tahu langsung ada kampung di sini. Memang masih lagi kekal nama kelinci. Uh, ada politician yang menjaga nama ini, kata ni adalah kelinci, bukan bangsa South, walaupun keseluruhan kawasan ini dah dipanggil bangsa South. Keseluruhan alamat sekitar ini dah dipanggil bangsa South sebab yelah nama bangsa, land value pun naik kan. Sampai Plaza Pantai ni pun dinamakan bangsa. Kalau kita pergi ke Plaza Pantai ni, naik ke stesen kelinci, keluar dan tengok alamat, dia kata bangsa South. Dia tak kata kelinci. The same thing kat sini, dia tak kata kelinci, dia kata bangsa South. So, itu adalah benda kelakar tentang dunia ini. Tapi, sekadar nak on a tangent sikit kan. Dulu, menurut sebuah sumber, Federal Highway ni adalah sebuah sungai. Ada satu sungai yang mengalir sekitar Federal Highway ni. Sebelum TM Center ni semua ada, sebelum ada Telekom, sebelum Plaza Pantai ni semua ada. Dan di sini ada satu banglo orang kaya. Dan apa yang menarik tentang banglo orang kaya ni adalah kanak-kanak pada zaman itu kata, oh banglo tu berhantu. Dan apa yang kelakar atau apa yang mungkin menarik adalah sampai sekarang bangunan Plaza Pantai ni kosong. Cuba pergi stesen ni, siapa yang biasa pergi stesen ni tahulah. Bangunan ni kosong. Tak banyak, mungkin ada kedai-kedai makan sikit tu pun kejap ada, kejap tak ada. So terasa macam memang betul tempat tu berhantu kan. Sampai selalu kosong sampai sekarang, 98 sampai sekarang macam kosong, macam tak ada orang pergi kan. Even though sebelah je TM, sebelah je ada banyak benda, sebelah je ada UM. Dan itulah benda kelakar sebab ni. Kenapa aku start bercerita pasal kampung ni ialah dia start dengan jumpa beberapa gambar-gambar lama seperti gambar-gambar ini kan. Dia macam kadang kita terlupa dah 10, 20 tahun lepas tu macam ada rupanya gambar macam ni, ada rupanya momen-momen macam ni, semua dah dewasa. Semua orang dalam gambar ni semua dah dewasa. Ada style kampung batu, papan kat atas. Ni style-style lama macam ni. Kita semua macam kadang-kadang kita lupa tentang memori yang ada. Ni yang kadang-kadang yang dikatakan kereta Mercedes tapi dalam kampung kan. So, begitulah cerita dia. Sebuah kampung yang orang tak tahu dah ada kampung kat sini. Dan itulah. Begitulah cerita dia kan. Sebenarnya ada satu video kat sini tapi ada masalah teknikal sikit, tak boleh main dengan video. So saya habiskan performance dengan gambar ini lah. Gambar Mercedes-Benz di tengah-tengah kampung. Stop share, okay. Okay. I'm sorry because there's a technical issue for a while there because I was supposed to use OBS, but OBS there's a problem, so I had to use a different way to perform a slightly different narrating show. So I'm sorry for that.
Okay, thank you, Abdul Rahman. Next, we'd like to invite Archana to present her performance.
Hello? Hey. Yeah. What are you up to? How's it going along? Okay, so sorry, just hold on for a second. Yeah, sorry, I'm just making a drink before my sister comes back. Yeah. There's this tandoori chicken burger at KFC that we haven't tried. So, yeah, she's gonna tap out that when she comes after her work.
Habis. Habis.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much to both Archana and Abdurrahman. I just wanted to ask if anyone has any questions from the floor. And also before that, I would like to briefly introduce about the participants and also the instructor. So Ridhwan Saidi is a Malaysian novelist, playwright, and filmmaker, and he co-founded indie publishing house Mocha Mocha Inc., which focuses on contemporary Malay fiction and drama. He's also part of the Literacity Research Team, a literary mapping project of Kuala Lumpur, and Theatre Modular is his series of short play that consists of 13 playlets, while Theatre Normcore is a series of full-length plays, and both with the intent to illuminate poetry and heighten appreciation towards that pen humor. In 2019, he co-curated Presta Playlet, which is an artist-run non-profit common ground for performance-based initiative through community building, research, workshop, discourse, and publications. And The Other Cinta Selama Muda is his first feature film, which had its world premiere at the Singapore International Film Festival. So Ridhwan is actually a prolific artist that has been making work across different mediums from time to time. And then whereas Abdurrahman is a multimedia storyteller trying to explore the various modes of storytelling. And he's a published fiction and non-fiction author, and currently he's a contributor to the film portal Asian Movie Pulse, and he's also part of the artist collective. He also part of Project Rabak, an artist collective originated from Ipoh, Perak. And as for Archana, we met Archana during the first fieldwork by Rinsing, and she also decided to join this fieldwork by Ridhwan Saidi because she has it's new to her to write a script, but I'm glad that both of them took up this challenge of trying to make a performance from ground zero because it can seem quite stressful because the workshop outcome is a show and Q&A, and they only have less than 60 hours to start with an idea and also to have it right now with shift authors. So maybe we can start with either the participants sharing your experience first, or either with Ridwan sharing some of your uh, feelings after conducting this workshop. Very focused on only two participants' development of work. Yeah.
Dulu.
Siapa nak start dulu?
I think the experience walaupun ialah dia 3-day workshop, but for me dia macam lebih pada just a macam mana nak kata, dia macam satu point untuk spark some, macam mana nak kata, dia bukanlah macam kena ada end product, because dia just macam satu proses, because kita sedar dia punya nature, 3D punya benda. Dan because I think macam because learning there's ada macam beberapa cara untuk kita belajar. Dan yalah, mungkin ada dari segi mungkin lecture kita dengar, tapi for me especially lah using with theatre, I think kita kena do and then somehow I believe that macam kita punya body can remembers, macam bila kita buat nanti maybe satu masa depan, oh kita sebenarnya sedang mungkin ada benda yang kita belajar dengan membuat, dan selalunya kita belajar cepat bila kita buat salah atau macam tu. Jadi saya rasa bila kita do, kita belajar macam tu. Jadi bagi saya anggap 3 hari ni proses lebih kepada just kita explore lah. Sebab saya pun sebenarnya belajar juga, sebab saya tak pernah buat teater dekat desktop ni. Jadi tapi yang bestnya saya dapat engage dengan Archana dan juga Abdul Rahman, sebab bagi saya yang paling penting sekali dengan conversation ni sebenarnya spark conversation je sebenarnya. Untuk semua pihak pun kita dapat bincang ya.
What about Archana? How do you feel?
I think to begin with, it's an interesting process, especially for someone who doesn't come from this background, and much more to do it in front of a laptop. I'm a very hands-on person, so it's a different experience. I think Ridhwan made it quite easy to pick up, in the sense that I think his process was, as he said, very conversation focused. So I was surprised when I didn't feel very intimidated in the first session. I felt very let in quite easily. I can understand what he's saying, and he always had the right questions to ask. So it was more about just sharing of experience and perspective, and coming up with the outline, and then working on it. So yeah, very scary as well. But yeah, it's been a good experience today.
And Abdul Rahman?
Yeah, the same actually, because I've never done anything like this before. And what I found out is my laptop can't run too many things at one time. So it's like there's a few technical problems right before we started actually, because I can't run, it just crashes, everything just crashes. So I had to change a lot of things in the very last minute, technically in the very last minute. So, but there's a lot I learned, because in exploring ideas, like Ridhwan helped me develop some of the early part of stories. Like, for me, I've never really thought about talking about Kampung Kelinci, which is my own past, even though I use dia rather than aku in the story. But Ridhwan sort of helped me go through it, how to tell the story differently, even though like me myself, I haven't really thought about that yet. Maybe one day, but yet right now. So it helps a lot in the process of maybe the next version, and it sort of helped me learn more about the tools in our disposal, our laptops, our softwares, and this and that. And I learned a lot actually, because even though I couldn't do what I want to do fully, but I learned a lot from that, because technical problem will always come with technology, right? So it can't be helped. But I'm very grateful for this workshop. I learned a lot actually.
I'm actually quite curious. What is the last video that you are trying to show us?
Yeah, the video is supposed to be the opening of the album and the closing of the album. Then I will be, there's supposed to be another scene about I'll be, collect tanah and put the album inside there. But there are too many moving parts, I guess. The laptop can handle too many things. I'm supposed to use Photoshop as well to draw the kampung a bit, the layout of the kampung a bit, and I couldn't do that either. So, but the idea is still there. But maybe next time, sometime in the future, I could do the same thing, but with a better prepared technically, I guess.
So today, actually, we have around 17 people that are still staying with us in this session on Facebook. Yeah, so just to let you guys know that yeah, they are here with us. And also maybe for Ridhwan, I would like to maybe can you explain a bit more about the virtual site that you are trying to explore? Like, why is it that you want to explore this? Because I also noticed that you actually did some monologue videos on your Instagrams, and but this is a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, because idea ni kan dia spontaneous. Dia macam tiba-tiba je dapat idea. But tapi saya tak pernah explore desktop because I think in filmmaking there's this like macam all the movie kan dia semua cerita dekat desktop je. Ada this like macam satu genre desktop punya story. Tak tahu apa judulnya, saya pun tak pernah tengok tapi saya tahu ada wujudnya. And then selain daripada fiction filmmaking yang story dia semua dekat desktop, ada juga dokumentari, desktop dokumentari. Macam satu genre atau orang buat dokumentari through desktop je. Maknanya desktop memang dah jadi satu macam macam satu, bukanlah site macam location atau satu space tu sendiri. Dia macam sangat personal juga sebenarnya desktop ni. Dia start dengan wallpaper kita. Wallpaper tu apa dia dah macam bagi sedikit gambaran siapa kita juga sebenarnya. Jadi jadi saya dapat idea dari situ lah. Maknanya desktop, mungkin kita boleh bermain-main dengan desktop. Dan saya terbayang sebab saya, yalah macam passion atau, bukan saya pun graduate architecture. Saya terbayang kalau ada orang yang dari architecture mungkin dia boleh guna software apa AutoCAD ke apa benda semua tu lah. Tapi yalah, tak apalah.
Ya, I pun bayang kalau ada accountant dia boleh pakai Excel sheet.
Tapi saya bersyukur juga sebab sebenarnya saya takut kalau ramai yang join. Sebab saya tak tahu macam nak handle. Kalau cikgu kalau nak ajar apa macam ramai orang, macam saya tak tahu macam mana. Takut nanti dia macam terlalu macam pengagihan, macam nak bagi apa attention tu susah sebab kalau ramai orang dia jadi macam terlalu general. Tapi bila dua orang, saya boleh spesifik betul. Saya betul-betul, maknanya this conversation tadi lah, maknanya kita betul-betul boleh macam betul-betul ada time untuk bercakap.
Yeah, is there any questions that anybody would like to ask? If you're on Facebook, you can just leave a comment and we'll check your questions. And also while waiting, I'm just curious because for, I think, okay, of course, both Archana and Abdurrahman's stories are quite personal stories, but Archana decided to go it in a bit more, showing a bit more of your personal social media and messaging things, but Abdurrahman is more of personal, as in the memories that you have in your home, your family memories. So yeah, so like just now when Ridwan said like when the desktop is quite a personal place, like how do you feel like it's like you're making it a bit public?
I think the trick is to tell yourself that there's no one else there. So just focus on yourself and just what you're doing. I think that was one way I could do what I did. Yeah, it can feel like you're pretty much out there, as it is when you're on social media or anywhere online. I think you're out there. Tapi when for something like this, a form of art like this, I think there needs to be focus in what we're trying to present or like the narrative we're trying to express. So I think that was what helped me to do what I did because it is very personal. For example, just opening up my email, my WhatsApp web and things like that. But I think in a way, it can be therapeutic as well because it allows you to be more open. Like for me to be able to do this helps me understand things or be able to see myself from a different perspective as well. So that is something that's a bit unexpected outcome out of this workshop and the product itself. Yeah. I hope I answered your question, Patian.
It's okay. Yeah, but also there's a lot of frustrations that's coming out from this being under the MCO 2.0 thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely. I think part of the story that I was trying to present is that frustration that you, so it was nice to know that you felt that, because it can be lonely, because people may see it in a way that due to the situation being a pandemic, you just have to go through certain things, which I can understand. But for someone who's a bit more expressive and who is usually in a natural state, always out there doing different things, with different people in different environment, I think it can be very difficult mentally as well. So just to be able to express that and outlet is helpful. Mm.
Like for Abdul Rahman, actually I was in UM in, when was that? 2011. So there was the period also when I feel, oh, Kampung Kerinci is becoming the Bangsa South.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated, then the Bangsa South become Kampung Kerinci again. It's like, oh, yeah. So it felt
Yeah,
really relatable when you mentioned about the Google Map and things. Yeah.
yeah, it's quite weird actually because I did communicate with my cousins, my aunties and whatnot, so to collect few more stories that I didn't mention. But there are, you know, it certain stories that you have totally forgotten about. Then when someone asks me, oh, I was there, and I just remembered about it. Like it's sort of something that I've forgotten before. Then suddenly, you know, I remember it back, and I sort of the mind sort of bring back all the images, all the so-called video in the head. So it's kind of interesting to explore back the memories of the past. And the thing about Kampung Vinci is it is not the more popular kampungs that was, you know, taken by the government and whatnot. Because most of the people there, they are not activists or whatnot, because a lot of us accepted, oh, we need to move, okay, we move, you know, by 2007. So it is sad that I could not see again the place. It's only there in the memory, not the different sort of shops, the kedai kuis and the nasi lemak shop and whatnot, and all the lanes, the kampung lanes, and chasing, you know, chickens and whatnot. So it's only in the memory now. There's no more. That kampung is no more. So it's like it's kind of an important story to tell, I think, and Ridwan managed to pull it out for me, which is I'm very thankful to Ridwan for it. But it's interesting. So because there's few stories that I didn't plan to tell at all, because I it needs to be translated, because it needs to be translated from Tamil to BM or English, and I was like, no, I don't think I can translate this story. So I just leave that story there. You know, there's few story like that, because it is funny when I think about it. But then I was like, no, I need to translate this. I don't think I can translate it. So that's another thing about it.
Macam with this two performance macam ada baru yelah macam terfikir macam because Abdul Rahman dia macam deal dengan yelah kampung yang telah hilang. Jadi rasa macam cara mode of dia punya penyampaian macam memang penting oral storytelling tu. Sebab tu dia lebih verbal storytelling. Sebenarnya macam yelah expect juga tapi yelah terpulang kepada performer lah, macam ready ke tak nak sampaikan. Sebab bagi saya yang akan cantik tentang Abdul Rahmannya work tu lah macam layer language. Maknanya dia ada sound to travel. Dia macam tapi yang paling penting oral storytelling lah. Tapi untuk Archana, because dia macam yelah macam tadi ada frustration. Dia ada macam energy yang macam tu sikit. Jadi mungkin dia akan lebih terasa kalau dia lebih bukan pasal kita tak spell out dengan voices sangat, kita just bagi dia visual je. Dia visual, kemudian end tu baru spot. Maknanya walaupun dua ni macam nak kata permainan desktop dia lebih kurang, macam ada pictures, ada website, ada lebih kurang lah, mungkin ada map sikit, tapi mode dia memang dia macam dua spektrum yang berbeza lah saya rasa. Sebab satu yang memang betul ke arah audio, oral storytelling, dan satu lebih kepada visual. Jadi saya tak sangka dia jadi macam ni lah. Dia macam sama tapi tak serupa lah, macam tu lah. Dia macam
There's a question from the Facebook for Abdul Rahman. I'll read out. Hi Abdul Rahman, what would be your way to reconnect or stay connected with your kampung? from Zhang Xiaochui.
There's only pictures now. Even the pictures is more personal family pictures. There's not many pictures of the kampung itself, like the landscape. I was trying to find it, but I can't find any pictures, the landscape. So it is, sadly, it's only in the memories now about the landscape, the different shots, different people. The people are still there. The people are still there because all of us are transferred to the same place, to PPL Kampung Limau at that time. So the people are still there. We still know a lot of them, and just that this place itself is no more, but the people are still there. My family is still, a lot of us are still here. So that's the only sad thing. The place itself is no more, but the memories the memory still remains. Like you see it. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Actually, like right now I'm thinking is that, like, although we started off with virtual site, but the stories that we are telling, it's also very rooted in our everyday life and what we know. And it's actually essentially about the physical site lah, just reflection.
It's because some of the spaces or the places in the kampung that I myself have forgotten about. It's not that I forget about it, it's just that I don't think about it that much now. But this allows me to think about that's like the actual space, where did I walk when I was in childhood, how did I travel throughout the kampung, where did I go. There's a few like blank spots, like, oh, what was that blanks in my own memory, so I was like, I couldn't place it. Oh, where does this road go? I can't remember where does this road go, but I know there's a road there. So it's like it is in the memory, and which is sadly there's no documentation, during the 90s or to preserve the kampung, which is unfortunately it's not the only kampung that faced this. There's few more kampungs in Kuala Lumpur that faced this throughout the years. And that's, I guess, it can't be helped. I guess even though I want to protest or not, it happens. It happens.
And selain tentang apa macam passion dia sebut pasal komputer, dia extension physical space, physical side. Tapi dalam masa sama juga terfikir pasal macam sebab komputer ni dia personal, kita punya personal komputer ni dia macam extension of our memory juga kan, macam mental space kita sebenarnya kadang-kadang. Maknanya kita punya memory pun macam untuk Abdul Rahman kan, gambar tu sebenarnya belum, baru scan ke dah scan?
Baru scan.
Baru scan untuk ni kan. So dia macam macam nak kata, banyak komputer dia extension kepada dia macam digital memori kita juga. Dia sebahagian kalau hard disk korup, mungkin kita punya memori akan hilang juga. Macam ada benda yang akan hilang sebab macam sebab kita body kan dah macam dah bersepat. Kita kan dengan handphone semua dengan digital punya benda dah macam dah jadi satu dah.
Jadi macam support apa kata digitalization of books, of photo archiving. Sebab kadang-kadang dah selalu dengar cerita, archive terbakar, tak hilang, fotograf hilang, muzik lama-lama semua kan. So kita kena support jugalah digitalization ni ke arah, sebab this is our reality now kan, virtual ni kan, the virtual space. So take advantage of it lah kan. In a way, yelah, it's a different thing, but take advantage of it lah kan.
So okay, nak tambah sikit yang tadi tu mungkin sebab bila dah tengok dua performance ni macam teringat sebenarnya membayangkan dua performance sebenarnya macam mental space juga. Dia desktop tapi sebenarnya macam dia dari macam nak kata dia macam extensions of
yeah.
We are merging with technology.
Yeah. So there is another comment from Facebook by Mark. He said, thanks for the performances. I appreciated that they were also experimenting between intimacy and publicness in this online space. Sharing your personal desktop on social media and the use of different apps and software and browser tabs also made me aware of how collage our lives are. Wondering if you can say what was challenging about doing this beside the technical?
Mhm.
I think this would be directed to both Archana and Juraman. Then maybe Ridwan can add on after this.
To be honest, I only realized that when I type in the browser, everything else comes up. Just yay. I don't know how. Before this, I didn't realize when I was doing the rehearsal and everything. But then again, I guess, yeah, that's just me. So I'm not someone who's like completely private. Yeah, to begin with, I'm a bit more open in terms of like my expression and how I am, who I am. So I think that helped me to be able to do what I did. But at the same time, what was difficult was the fact that because it's what was shared, the narrative itself is in a way very emotional, although it may have not seemed for some of the audience, because it has got to do with the people who I talk to, with the people who I'm very close to, and very close to day-to-day schedule in the evening that I have. It's very close. I think these are the things that I talk about. There were some things that were just put in there um, intentionally, quite intentionally, but for the most part, dia memang day to day, that's what I do in the evening. Checking with my sister, checking with my partner and things like that. So to put it out there, what was challenging? I think sometimes us being people, we are afraid of judgment. We are afraid of how we are looked at. I think when you're in the public eye, you tend to get a lot of criticism from the other side of the screen, because now you are the subject and everyone else is the audience. So I think that part can be very scary. I think if we can reduce that and everyone is able to just be themselves, um, without having to mask our real emotions or who we are. I mean, if we want to be private, that I think has to be our conscious decision. But if you're forced to be private because of how you are going to be treated by others, right? I think then that's a problematic situation, or that's another pandemic, I suppose. Social pandemic. Yeah, to be treated very badly for who you are. So yeah, I think that can be that was a bit scary to share who or what I am in this form, and also to have picked this particular narrative to share. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's different because I have been in a few video conferences and I've been sharing my screen quite a lot. So I kind of got used to it already. You know, the video conferences, the year of video conferences last year. So I kind of already got used to it. So it's like I don't really think about privacy because I already know what I open and what I share won't be a private thing in a way. So for me, I kind of got used to it already because of video conferencing.
Ridwan ada apa pernah add on?
Apa tentang
The intimateness or the publicness of
betul-betul.
yeah.
Sepanjang kita berbincang, memang itu antara benda yang kita cuba nak main jugalah dalam perbincangan kita tentang apa yang public, apa yang umum yang general. Sebab tu kita cuba start dengan something yang macam Abdul Rahman, kita ada bincang pasal 2 part kan. Starting kita first part tentang kampung, second part masuk ke personal. Rumah kan, personal story. Macam Archana pun start dengan hubungan dengan Spain, dengan Malaysia, chatting, kemudian dalam masa sama ada hubungan dengan adik kan, macam yang macam on the way nak ke rumah. Jadi dia tentang connection hubungan yang jauh dan yang dekat dalam masa yang sama. Jadi
I think I think what sometimes we don't realize is there's a very strong connection between public and personal. What is public can be personal, what's personal can be public. In the sense that I think in my sharing, for for example, like what Ridhwan mentioned, yang hubungan dengan adik, like the order makan, and then the fact that, you know, we don't know whether we can order makan sebab dah lambat. Because of the MCO rules, right, that you can order only until 8 p.m. So all the orders usually, macam Foodpanda, everything closes by 7:30. So that's like a government made decision, but it affects everyone at a personal level and in different ways. So we get to narrow that down. And yet even the water cut issue, right? It's something that I've shared with them, and I didn't know that they had electricity issues. So I guess different country has different issues. And then when it comes to the personal level, everyone is affected different ways, and some people may have more privilege to be able to survive those situations. Yeah.
Okay, there is a, wait, there is a comment back from Zhang Xiaochui for Abdurrahman. Thanks, and hope you and your family found ways to go through the grief of losing the geographical collective memories. And yes, now you can relive the memories through old photos and with a red heart.
Thank you.
And also there's another comment from Rebecca and to Achana. That's amazing words, Achana. I think it's not easy to have done what you did to put yourself out there and to share. Yeah. Do you guys have anything more to add or share?
Not really. I think I'm good. Just want to say thanks to Ridhwan. I never imagined doing something like this. To be honest, on the second day, I thought of pulling out. I was like, what have I done? Tapi it's just like sendiri takut lah, you know. I don't know if this is like for most people, but I haven't been going out. I haven't been like working out for like for a very long time. So just to put yourself in front of a screen is also in a way putting yourself out there. So it was very I think especially today it was very difficult to even eat or because I feel like it's been far too long since I put myself out there. If not for the way Ridhwan's facilitation and like process, I think I wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah. And Pacien for organizing this and also for facilitating the process and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm I'm grateful to everyone, to the organizers, Space and Ridhwan, to facilitate this, and it helped me because I've never done performance before. I've written a lot of things, but I've never done performance before. So it helps me to see things in a different way. It helps me, for myself actually, to grow as a creative in Malaysia, technically, in a way. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm very grateful that it was kind of random too, because I've not been opening Facebook for a long time. So that day, it was just quite a lucky coincidence. I opened my Facebook and saw the ad from Ridhwan's Facebook and straight joined. So I'm really, it's quite, it's really, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I hope I can use this experience to continue on to do other things. And I've learned a lot, actually. I've learned a lot from this experience, actually.
Yeah, actually, Abdurrahman is the first one to sign up. Yeah. Thank you for signing up. I was. Yeah, I also would like to thank Japan Foundation for the for organizing this curatorial workshop, and it's not seen on the screen, but actually off the line they are working very hard to try to provide very smooth technicals. Yeah. So just thank you to Nazrin and Kyoko, and also Shimada-san and Tomokawa-san. Yeah. Before we end, I will just do a bit of iklan. Iklan time. Right. Okay. So over here, it's our entire schedule, but it's too messy, never mind. You just need to remember our next coming up event, which is in 5 days' time. It's our opening for the Situ, where I will sort of have a deeper sharing about what is this project about. So it's on 29th of January, 9 p.m. on Zoom. It will be only in the Zoom. There's no live stream for this session. So please register. You can check out on Japan Foundation's official website. Yeah. Okay. Thanks again for everybody for joining us in this session. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Yeah, I remember it. So I thought it was important for a small workshop, even for a small workshop, to have a output session. Even it's like I don't know. I feel like it's a very fruitful sharing lah. Yeah. So thank you for taking up the challenge also.
Terima kasih.
Right. Bye guys.
Okay, dah habis. Oh,
So
sorry.
much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.